Hey everybody, it's Steve again. Quick Florida news. This is absolutely hilarious. I had to just do a quick video on this one. I was scrolling through and I came across something that I thought was one of those click bites that, something to grab your attention, a clickbait, get you to click on something and it's a virus or whatnot. Turns out it's a real story and it just happened today. But in Orlando, Central Florida, Orange County, my favorite place on the planet, two young women. They want to call them women. I call these two girls. These are kids in their early 20s, dressed as grannies and tried to get their second vaccine shot, pretending to be old ladies. This is some super duper Florida shit because A, it's two friends. B, there's video footage of it. C, they are not convincing in the least that they are old ladies. Like you would have to be fucking blind. You would have to be suffering from some sort of medical trauma to assume that these girls were old ladies. But they tried it anyways. I don't know if it started off as a joke and then that shit just got out of hand. They were like, haha, what if we did it? And the other girl said, yeah, let's try it. And then they got there and they were like, shit, let's just keep going with it. It didn't work. And it was an absolute catastrophe. And it landed them in hot water, maybe even legal trouble. But you got to see this. I'm going to snap over to the video real quick. And I actually have the body cam footage too to show you. This is awesome. So here's the article first. Here's the story.
Dropped at the Orange County COVID-19 press conference today. Listen to this one. Two young women dressed up as, quote, grannies and tried to get through the vaccine line at the convention center. Again, they wore costumes. Channel 9's Lauren Seabrook just stepped out and joins us live with this wild story. This one's going to go national, no doubt. I saw your Twitter feed. It's going crazy. Lauren, what happened here?
Greg, if we didn't live in Florida, I don't know if I would believe this one. Dr. Pino says that basically these two young girls in their 20s dressed up as if they were old enough to get through the line. And really, that's an understatement. I mean, they went overboard with this disguise. He said they had on bonnets and long gloves. They were talking like they were older, and they really thought they had the staff fooled, but yeah, probably not. Although he does say it's possible they did fool them at one point or another because he says the girls had valid vaccine cards showing they already had their first shots and they were just about to get their second shots, but Orange County firefighters noticed something was up, so they checked their IDs and that's when they realized it was all a disguise. The girls were not only turned away, but the situation was turned over to the sheriff's office, so we're checking now to see if they'll face any kind of fraud charges. Dr. Pino says there's actually been quite a few people who have tried to get through the line or even showed up at the end of the night bugging the nurses as they walk out to their cars. So he says they have increased their security quite a bit there on the site. But I want you to listen for yourself to Dr. Pino explaining this crazy situation.
Yesterday, we realized a couple of young ladies can dress up as grannies to get vaccinated for the second time. So I don't know how they escaped the first time, but they came vaccinated, the bonnets, the gloves, the glasses, the whole thing. And they probably were in their 20s.
Just unbelievable. He also did tell us, speaking of old, that they recently vaccinated someone who was 113 years old.
All right. So there you have it. That's the story. It's absolutely hilarious. And it's not surprising because it's Florida. People do wild shit in Florida. It is the Wild West. You can try to do anything you want. Doesn't mean you're going to get away with it. But Florida is the place where if you have a wild idea, fuck it, try it. There are people that are domesticating alligators there. Wild cats. There's all kinds of shit that happens in Florida that doesn't make any sense. In any other part of the country that I've traveled or lived in, I lived in California, I'm in North Carolina, I've traveled all over the country. I never see or hear the shit that I've ever seen or heard in Florida. I've never had to deal with the same caliber of crazy. And it's what I think it is that Florida's a dumping ground for all these states. A lot of people send, their messed up relatives to Florida to stay with the elders who are established, retired, they have a place, they don't need to worry about paying them rent or whatnot, because the cost of living is relatively cheap. And so I think a lot of that drives a lot of Florida. I should cover that in a whole separate video, but this is the type of shit that goes down in Florida on a daily basis. On a daily basis, we just applied the COVID-19 spectrum to it, but this is Florida, man. People do wild things. Two young girls dressing as elderly women to get a vaccine and trying to get away with it. Man, that's the tip of the iceberg. I can't imagine how many other people have already done this. They didn't probably come up with this on their own. Someone probably did this, and yeah, it just worked. So kudos to them for trying. I have to high five them. Here's the video of it, though. All right, guys. So I actually found the footage of these girls attempting to fool the vaccine center into giving them their second dose. You got to see this. I'll get my mug off of here so we can get the whole shot.
Here on this. And we're not even sure if they're going to press charges against you and take you to jail right now. So we're at that point right here. But just for your selfishness of stealing the vaccine.
Okay, this is a trespass warning. You're hereby warned that you are not authorized, licensed, or invited to be in these premises and may be arrested if you refuse to leave or return at any time in the future. It's this building, it's our other building, it's our site.
Parking garage,
Everything.
anything, the whole property around here. I'm not allowed to be here no more.
Would never be around.
It's ridiculous that you're here right now.
So your information is going to be flagged with the vaccine software. Okay. So
You're Martha?
you guys try and do this
So you're a
again.
copy.
You're not going to get a vaccine. Okay. So you got to wait your turn. All right. So those are yours. Car keys. You're going to get a copy of each one of those. You come back anytime you're going to be arrested. Any question about that?
No, that's not.
You're lucky you're not being arrested right now.
Harry, I really appreciate it.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right, so there you have it. I don't know what I could say beyond that, but I don't know how those disguises. I don't know if they're missing something. If there was wigs, like more makeup or something they had on when they got busted, but that is just ridiculous. It's also sad that like anybody would even think they have to resort to that's what they would have to do in order to get the vaccine, because of the terrible rollout and because of its execution and how bad we've handled this whole scenario, which is obviously another topic, and I know some people are going to debate that, and that's not up for debate. Like, we shouldn't have kids pretending to be elderly people trying to get a fucking vaccine. That's just common sense. But the fact that these two idiots gave it a shot and didn't really do like a decent job of trying to cover their youth up, that's what made this funny to me. So I wish them the best. I hope they do get vaccinated. I hope that we don't just leave them to hang out and dry, and that they don't end up, putting any more lives at risk in order to get their vaccine. Because really, there's a lot that goes with that. If you look at like the how much has to go into administering a vaccine and making sure that it's documented, and that those times are spaced out and whatnot. When you circumvent that, you kind of disrupt the whole system, but you also set two other possible patients back further in the line, and so that's just not right. And you waste all those resources. There was like 7 cops there, the news, everybody had to cover it. It's a dumbass move. It's super selfish. You're probably in a better position to just hunker down or whatever the hell, or just wait. If you got your first shot, I don't know. Most of the science is saying right now that like your first shot boosts your numbers up enough to have a solid defense. You might not even need a second shot, depending on which vaccine you got. But in this case, absolutely amazing, hilarious. These two girls are my hero of the day, and I hope that that this doesn't have any like permanent lasting effect on them. It was a dumb move. It was really funny. Years from now, they're gonna look back and be like, yeah, we tried to pretend to be two old ladies in Florida to get a vaccine. And anyways, like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel, do your thing, and I've got a lot more of these coming shortly.